Hello dear students, welcome to this program. Today we are going to discuss DNA structure and types of DNA. Before discussing this topic in detail, let's first know its objectives. Historic perspective of DNA, Messier, Watson and Crick, the structure of DNA, salient features of DNA, types of genetic material, types of DNA, denaturation and renaturation of DNA, and Cort curves. Now let's start. Historic perspective of DNA, Messier, Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick 1953 published their paper on the structure of deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. That publication, in a sense, marked the end of a story that began nearly a century earlier in a laboratory in Tübingen, Germany. It was in this laboratory, under the direction of the great German physiologist Felix Hoppe Seyler, that an unknown 25-year-old Swiss scientist named Friedrich Messier discovered a cellular substance that was unlike anything. As an alternative, he suggested to his father and uncle that he might pursue additional education in physiology. Having scared their assent, he arrived in Tübingen in 1868. There, he joined the laboratory of physiological chemistry that had been under Felix Hoppe Seyler and gained a considerable reputation in the newly founded field of tissue chemistry, which nowadays has become known as biochemistry. By the end of the 19th century, and mainly due to the work of Albrecht Karl Ludwig Martin Leonhard Kossel, the basic chemical components of nuclein were known. These were the pentose sugar deoxyribose, phosphates, and the four bases adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine. It was also discovered that there was another component in the cell that was similar to nuclein except for the identity of the pentose sugar as ribose and the substitution of uracil for thymine. This discovery was responsible in part for the term nuclein being replaced with nucleic acid and the designation of the two nucleic acids as deoxyribonucleic acid DNA and ribonucleic acid RNA. After Messier's initial description in his 1871 paper, other scientists also started investigations onto nuclein. Mostly chemists, often through personal contacts with Messier or Hoppe Seyler, were intrigued by its potential as a novel kind of cellular substance, among them Albrecht Kossel, Jules Picard, and Jacob von Mechler. Most notably, Albrecht Kossel, another scientist in Hoppe Seyler's laboratory and later winner of the Nobel Prize in Medicine, discovered that nuclein was comprised of four bases and sugar molecules. In 1953, Watson and Crick deciphered the structure of DNA and thus provided the first insight into how it works. A decade later, Robert W. Hawley, Hargobind Khorana, Marshall W. Nienberg, and colleagues finally cracked the genetic code. At this point, it had become clear how the information for creating the variety of organisms could be encoded in a single molecule composed of only four different building blocks. This information served as the point of departure for the development of a completely new biological discipline, molecular genetics. Moving to the next objective, the structure of DNA. DNA is now the predominant genetic material in the living world. Just over 60 years ago, Watson and Crick published their classic paper on the structure of DNA. In it, they emphasize the two principal features of the molecule, the complementarity of the base sequences on the two strands and the double helical nature of the polymer. The base sequence complementarity with adenine complementary to thymine and guanine complementary to cytosine provided an elegant molecular explanation for the discovery in the previous decade by Avery, McCarthy, and MacLeod that DNA was likely the transforming principle that enabled the transfer of genetic information between different strains of bacteria. Most importantly, the structure implied that the information in the DNA base sequence could possess, by virtue of the complementarity, the ability to be replicated into two identical copies. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, is a polymer, a long chain-like molecule made up of subunits called monomers. Many important biological molecules, including not only DNA but also proteins, polysaccharides, and lipids, are polymers of one type or another. In DNA, the monomers are called nucleotides, and these are linked together to form a polynucleotide chain that can be hundreds, thousands, or even millions of nucleotides in length. The basic unit of the DNA molecule is the nucleotide. Nucleotides are found in the cell either as components of nucleic acids or as individual molecules. Nucleotides have several different roles and are not just used to make DNA. In DNA, any one of 4 different nitrogenous bases can be attached at this position. These are called adenine and guanine, which are double-ring purines, and cytosine and thymine, which are single-ring pyrimidines. The base is attached to the sugar by a N glycosidic bond attached to nitrogen number 1 of the pyrimidine or number 9 of the purine. The phosphate backbone consists of deoxyribose sugar molecules linked together by phosphate groups. The backbone continues on in a simple repetitive pattern with the DNA bases sticking out at the side. The phosphate groups have a negative charge, giving the outside of the DNA an overall negative charge. There is a biological reason for the convention of always writing DNA sequences in the 5' to 3' direction. In part because of the structure of the starting material, nucleotide 5' triphosphates, the enzymes inside cells which copy the DNA, for example DNA and RNA polymerase, always synthesize in the directions 5' to 3'. The strands in DNA are antipolar, that is, they go in opposite directions. Silent features of DNA. The 2 polynucleotide chains are coiled around each other like a spiral staircase double helix. The cross-ring tips are formed by the nitrogen bases, while phosphates and sugars form the uprights. The 2 polynucleotide chains run in opposite directions antipolar. One chain runs in the 3 to 5 direction, while for the other chain, 3 to 5 direction is opposite. The average distance between the 2 chains is 20 angstrom. One full turn of the helix, called gyre, measures 34 angstrom in length. The distance between 2 successive sugar molecules is 3.4 angstrom, thus each gyre accommodates 10 nucleotides. The nitrogen bases of the 2 opposite chains exhibit highly specific base pairing. A purine in one chain always pairs with a pyrimidine in the opposite chain. Among purines, adenine pairs only with a pyrimidine thymine and vice versa. Similarly, guanine pairs only with cytosine and vice versa. There are 2 weak hydrogen bonds between adenine and thymine or thymine and adenine. There are 3 weak hydrogen bonds between guanine and cytosine or cytosine and guanine. The total amount of purines is equal to the total amount of pyrimidines. The 2 polynucleotide chains of DNA molecule are not identical to each other but complementary to each other. The fact that the total amount of purines will be equal to the total amount of pyrimidines was first initiated by Cherkav in 1950. DNA serves the following functions. It is the genetic material in all prokaryotes and eukaryotes. It is capable of replication by which it can be faithfully passed on to successive generations. It is involved in the synthesis of RNA. It provides the code for protein biosynthesis, and it is involved in mutations and genetic recombinations which bring about variations. Dear students, moving to the next objective, that is types of genetic material. 2 different types of genetic material exist: deoxyribonucleic acid DNA and ribonucleic acid RNA. Most organisms are made of DNA, but a few viruses have RNA as their genetic material. DNA was first identified in 1868 by Friedrich Mescher, a Swiss biologist, in the nuclei of pus cells obtained from discarded surgical bandages. He called the substance nuclein, noted the presence of phosphorus, and separated the substance into a basic part and an acidic part. DNA genetic material of bacteria. In 1928, Frederick Griffith performed an experiment using pneumonia, bacteria and mice. This was one of the first experiments that hinted that DNA was the genetic code material. He used 2 strains of Streptococcus pneumonia, a strain which has a polysaccharide coating around it that makes it look smooth when viewed with a microscope, and a strain which does not have the coating, thus looks rough under the microscope. Griffith 1928 with other workers. The breakthrough in the quest to determine the hereditary material came from the work of Max Delbruck and Salvatore Luria in the 1940s. Bacteriophages are a type of virus that attacks bacteria. The viruses that Delbruck and Luria worked with were those attacking E. coli, a bacterium found in human intestines. Bacteriophages consist of protein coats covering DNA. Bacteriophages infect a cell by injecting DNA into the host cell. This viral DNA then disappears while taking over the bacterial machinery and beginning to make new virus instead of new bacteria. After 25 minutes, the host cell bursts, releasing hundreds of new bacteriophages. Phages have DNA and protein, making them ideal to resolve the nature of the hereditary material. DNA genetic material of viruses. In 1952, Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase did an experiment which is so significant it has been nicknamed the Hershey-Chase experiment. At that time, people knew that viruses were composed of DNA or RNA inside a protein coat shell called a capsid. It was also known that viruses replicate by taking over the host cell metabolic functions to make more virus. We are used to thinking and talking about viruses which invade our bodies and make us sick, but there are other different kinds of viruses that infect other kinds of animals. Still other viruses which infect plants, and even some viruses that infect bacteria. A virus which infects a bacterium is called a bacteriophage because the host bacterium cell is killed as the new virus particles leave the bacterial cell. In order to do all this, the virus must inject whatever is the viral genetic code into the host cell. Types of DNA. There are 3 types of DNA helices. aDNA, which can readily form within certain stretches of purines, for example GAG, GGA. bDNA, which is favored by mixing sequences, and zDNA, which is favored by alternating pyrimidine purine steps, for example CGC, GCG. The A and B DNA families are right-handed helices, while the Z DNA family has a left-handed orientation of the helix. These different conformations of the DNA helix have important biological functions. Denaturation and renaturation of DNA. Denaturation of DNA double helix takes place by the following denaturating agents. Denaturation by temperature. Denaturation involves the following changes of the properties of DNA: increase in absorption of UV light, decrease in viscosity, denaturation by chemical agents, effect of pH on denaturation. Renaturation of DNA. When preparations of double-stranded DNA are denatured and allowed to renature, the rate of renaturation can give valuable information about the complexity of the DNA. If there are repetitive sequences in the DNA, it shows less complexity in comparison to its total length, but the complexity is equal to its total length if all sequences are unique. The 1 kb DNA fragments are denatured by heating above its TM and then renatured at a temperature 10 degrees Celsius below the TM and monitored either by decrease in absorbance at 260 nanometer hypochromic effect or by passing samples at intervals through a column of hydroxyapatite which retains only double-stranded DNAs, and estimating how much of the sample is retained. The degree of renaturation after a given time depends on CO, the concentration of double-stranded DNA prior to denaturation, and T, the duration of the renaturation in seconds. Cott curves. The technique for determining the sequence complexity of any genome involves the denaturation and renaturation of DNA. DNA is denatured by heating, which melts the hydrogen bonds and renders the DNA single-stranded. If the DNA is rapidly cooled, the DNA remains single-stranded, but if the DNA is allowed to cool slowly, the sequences that are complementary will find each other and eventually base pair again. The rate at which the DNA reanneals, another term for renature, is a function of the species from which the DNA was isolated. The so-called COT curve plots the percentage of DNA that remains single-stranded expressed as a ratio of the concentration of single-stranded DNA to the total concentration of the starting DNA. Again, it's the log of the product of the initial concentration of DNA multiplied by length of time and the reaction preceded. The COT curve is rather smooth, which indicates that reannealing occurs slowly but gradually over a period of time. At COT 1/2, half of the DNA has reannealed. The shape of a COT curve for a given species is a function of two factors: the size of complexity of the genome, the amount of repetitive DNA within the genome. The COT curves of the genome of bacteriophage, lambda, E. coli and yeast have the same shape, but COT 1/2 of yeast is largest, E. coli next and lambda smallest. Physically, the larger the genome size, the longer it will take for any one sequence to encounter its complementary sequence in the solution. This is because two complementary sequences must encounter each other before they can pair. The more complex the genome, the longer it will take for any two complementary sequences to encounter each other and pair. Repeated DNA sequences that are found more than once in the genome of the species, have distinctive effects on COT curves. If a specific sequence is represented twice in the genome, it will have two complementary sequences to pair with and as such will have a COT value half as large as a sequence represented only once in the genome. Dear students, it's all about this topic. Hope you understood well. Thank you.